at 190. He won the first one, Goldman. And then at heavyweight, Steve Wilbur wrestles Darrell Peterson, and Peterson of Iowa State won the match at Ames. And we're ready to go at 158. It's Ewing in red for Iowa State against Marty Kistler, ranked #1 for Iowa in the black. And Marty Kistler's trying to bring his team from behind. The Hawks trail 10-8.
I don't think they thought they'd be in this position, but Iowa's lineup balance just continues. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Those intermissions tend to change a little bit of momentum. We'll see what happens now.
They really do, don't they? We've seen that several times even this year.
It starts to, when you got it going, sometimes you just do not stop. Now Kistler is one of those wrestlers that likes to be able to control the tie-up and then move off of it. And of course, so does Ewing. So you're liable to see these boys in this position more than just in the open.
They didn't wrestle the first time. Bob Kaufman was in the dual meet against Iowa State. There's a warning against Ewing immediately here from Mike Exline, the referee from Charles City, and Ewing comes in on a double leg.
Well, he had that nice and deep, and he got good elevation, good lift out of it, but Kistler reached over and grabbed the ankle, and that prevented him from being able to pivot his hips around. Now he's in a little better shape, but Kistler has the wrist, I believe. Once you control the wrist, it makes it difficult to secure the takedown.
Ewing almost overshot that double, if you can do such a thing.
Well, at least he penetrated it deep, and that's what you have to do. I think it probably surprised both of them that he was in there that deep. It's a pretty good sign that you want to go back and do it again.
Marty Kistler in black on the left. That's the Hawk black. Dave Ewing in the Cyclone red on the right, the Cardinal.
They're just really not moving out of this position that they're in, and he calls a stalemate. But what they're not doing is controlling the tie-up. Again, they're just getting into the tie-up and pushing.
Darrell Peterson, heavyweight at Iowa State. He'll be up in the last match of the night against Steve Wilbur.
Well, I'm sure the Cyclones would like to see it come down to that.
Yes, they would.
See, these when they lock up like this and they don't improve, it's difficult to just execute an offense from there. If you're not moving your opponent when you're in a locked up position, anytime you start to make any kind of movement, he can feel that and react to it. There's a nice side single by Ewing.
In on the single again. He just
touched the head.
Touched the hands and came back.
Now he has the wrist control. Kistler from Iowa has the wrist control. So even though Ewing has it, now he drops him down. They call this a dump. There's a nice little drop to set Kistler down on the mat. And
He's got the two. It's a takedown for Ewing.
Now this is what they call a double wrist lock, which you see Kistler having. Now he let go with one hand, but he still has the wrist locked up.
Ewing is in top, and he's getting riding time here. But he can't be making a lot of progress because of his position. His head is locked up inside. There's a stalemate.
And he doesn't want to get off those hips when he's like that, because with that wrist tied up, the man can get to his hips and then use the wrist against him. So he did what he had to do, just stay there.
Marty Kistler. He is ranked #1 this year. Ewing went to the leg right away, the ankle pick to stop the first move. He's going to have to come off it.
And when he did, he came up and chopped the arm nicely. Once you have the arm, then you can go after the hips. So you see, he took away the arm first, then took away the hips, then keeps the pressure on. And he drops down on that ankle. That's what officials look for anymore. You just can't do much of that as you used to. There's the hips out clean, but Ewing follows it nicely. So he got the hips out, but he didn't control the hands, and as a result, couldn't secure the escape.
A 49-second ride for Ewing, first period. And he leads Kistler 2-0. There's Harold Nichols. Maybe he can sniff one of those old-time sneaky ones, huh?
He's got him wrestling tonight, Doug.
There's Ewing. It's his first year of wrestling a lot at Iowa State. Kistler on top, trailing by 2.
He chose the down position to see if he can't earn another escape. And he's pretty good at the switches. You know, he does it. If he gets to his feet, he does a pretty good job of getting the switches in there. And I think he might have hurt himself right there. It'll be interesting to see when they get out of this position if Ewing has some kind of injury. I thought I heard him yell. It looked like he might have hurt his back when he went down right there.
But he's not going to stop. He's coming back to the middle. Kistler has erased all but 19 seconds of the riding time. Ewing of Iowa State on the bottom, but leads 2-0 in the team score, and the Hawks trail. Iowa State's up 10-8 in the team score.
This is what Kistler didn't want him to do, is get to his feet. Ewing does a nice job of freeing the hands and cutting away for his escape.
3-zip is the score.
You're always interested now, Doug, in saying, how did you get ahead by 3 to your athlete? How did you get ahead of a good guy like this by 3? You know, by wrestling offensives. So keep on doing that.
And he did. Didn't get the single this time, though. He made a nice counter move against the counter.
Yes, he did. And Kistler has to get on the offense. He really hasn't generated any offense so far in this match. He's done some pushing into him. But it's hard to generate offense when you're locked this tightly.
They reach the edge of the mat. Now Ewing wants a timeout. There's Dan Gable going out to tell his man what has to be done.
I think we saw him injure his back one of the other meets that we were working, and it may be that he still has it. It was his ribs or his back. Remember when we were watching that?
It seemed to me it was looks like the back, the way they're working on his arms, shoulders over the head. There's some more of the fans here. See where they were at during the intermission. They went to the concession stand. I think that's why they had the intermissions these days, don't you, Chuck?
Yeah, they let them all get out there and buy that popcorn.
You bet. Here we go again. It's 3-0 in favor of Ewing. Kistler still has not put his score on the board.
He just hasn't really wrestled in the offensive position. More on a tie-up like this without really generating offense. He might get him called for stalling if he can continue to push him out, but he hasn't got the offense that he needs.
Now Kistler gets into an underhook position. He's going to try something a little bit different. Both are called. Both are up.
We had a double warning because neither man is doing anything. Since Ewing had already been warned earlier, Kistler got 1 point for it.
On the edge of the mat. They're still going to tie up.
It starts to become a little bit of a strategy match right here. Now Ewing can throw out of that position as long as he has his head in there. It's not going Kistler's way, and I would think that he's going to want, the coaches are going to want him to increase his tempo here pretty soon and get out of the tie.
And that's the end of the second period. And after 2 periods, you're looking at Jim Gibbons there. He sees that score, 3-0. The Hawk wrestler, Marty Kistler, has not scored yet.
Well, Ewing's pretty good on top if he can pick the ankle. That's how he usually stops his man, is to pick an ankle to stop him and then come up and chop the arm.
And the Hawks would like to get the crowd back into it too, because they're sitting on their hands right now.
Right. Well, it's Ewing's responsibility here to try to improve his position, take that man to the mat. He stops it now. He's kind of hanging now. This is what the referee will look. Is he trying to put his man down and improve it, or is he just trying to hold him?
There's no riding time advantage. Not enough yet to make a point. 34 seconds worth for Ewing.
Let's see if he beats him on the ankle again. That's what stopped Kistler the last several times. So he picks the ankle. That takes the first move away. Now he's looking for him to try to improve it rather than just hang back on him.
2, 3. That's one more. Nephew.
That's a point.
That's because he was locking his hands. And when his opponent went down to the mat, when he pulled him back down, he was on one knee, and then he had his hands locked yet.
So it's now 3-2.
So it's a technical violation for locking hands.
And here comes Les Anderson over to talk about it. Let's listen.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. He's down.
No complaint there. It was just,
No,
did he do it?
They just want to know if that's what it was for.
So there was a penalty for stalling, another penalty for locking hands, makes it 3-2. And now
He's got to improve this. This is what the referee is counting for. Is he trying to improve? Kistler, of course, is trying to use that as his means of escaping rather than escaping on his own. You know, so far, the matches that we've seen the Hawkeyes have some trouble in, Doug, it's been when they're on the bottom. When they get down, they have a little bit of trouble being able to secure the escaping maneuvers.
I'll tell you haven't heard this in a while, but an Iowa team, the last takedown they had was at 134 pounds. Randall got it in the first period.
Now there's the escape.
Now it's 3-3. After the escape, it's all tied up. And Ewing has riding time with less than a minute to go.
The Kistler has to score now. That's his first low-level attack right there. So you saw the first time Kistler has made a low-level attack. He's been here too much of the night. There's the low-level penetrating high crotch. And he got the two because he's still in running.
And it's a takedown for Marty Kistler. And he's brought Iowa back. It's 5-3.
I see he hits the high crotch. Ewing's trying to turn out away from it, but because the knees are still in, he still has control because one man can be out as long as the supporting parts of the other man are inbounds. So he scores the two-point takedown.
5-3. The Cyclones lead in the meet 10-8.
Well, that's 6.5 minutes for that one low-level attack that Kistler made. It took him 6.5 minutes to make it. I'm sure that the coaches are going to look at the same videotape we are and ask him if there's a reason why. Because when you have that kind of talent, they would anticipate that he'd get something going on the offense earlier than this in a meet.
Ewing had a takedown in the first period. Those are the rankings right now. Iowa at the top. They put 35 points difference between themselves and the number 2 team.
Certainly did. Big job there last week.
Yeah, it's tough for a team to get sky high this week because the Nationals, the tournament start next week. You don't want to peak too soon.
Well, they were more than sky high last week. That's for sure. Oh boy. There's that switch that Ewing gets for
Now the Iowa State bench was up. They said that Kistler locked his hands.
He might have had his hands locked, but as long as those hips are not on the mat, you can lock them.
We have 19 seconds to go.
He's doing some good stand-ups, trying to free himself. Stand-up switches.
13 seconds to go. A 2-point lead. The riding time is gone. A 2-point lead for Kistler.
Mountie.
Well, he picks the ankle to stop it.
Hey, let's wrestle. I'm done listening. Let's go. Hey.
You can hear him saying, I'm done listening. I don't have to listen to what he's saying.
Now here we go. Let's listen.
Listen to this.
Coach, I know what you want, and you know what I want. This is the last night here. This is your warning. I'm not going to put up with it all night long. Let's go.
It's Mike Exline. Now he's asked to talk to Dan Gable.
I just told him that. Hey, that's his warning.
Do they know it?
That's his warning.
Tell them.
That's his warning.
You hear Gable saying
That's his warning. I'm done listening to him, all right?
That's the official warning against the Iowa State coaches.
every coach gets
Fred,
one
you're
official
down.
warning, and then they get a team point deducted if they do it the second time. So when you question judgment, you get a warning. And most of the referees will listen to you some, but not forever.
5-3 is the score in favor of Kistler. Ewing is
Got to his feet wisely.
5-4.
Switched to free himself, so he got out for one. Now he can't score up there around the head. And doesn't.
There it is. Heck of a match.
Yes, it was. Took him right to the wire.
And Marty Kistler got all his points in the last period and beat Dave Ewing of Iowa State 5-4. And so the Hawks go back on